Please take seats. This is the business part of the meeting. I think okay, I call the meeting to order. You have in front of you, I think on the screen, you have the agenda. Would somebody move for approval of the agenda, please? Ed moves. We need a seconder. Doug seconds it. I saw your hand, but any discussion about the agenda? If not, I will take a vote. All those who are in favor of the agenda, and anybody against? The agenda is approved as presented. Next item in the agenda is approval of the minutes of the from March 10th, 2022 meeting. Can someone move for adoption of the minutes? Amber, seconder, please. Darren, any discussion about, you must have all read our minutes of the last meeting, 22 meeting. Any discussion, any questions about it? If not, we'll declare that the minutes are approved or adopted as presented. Financial report. Is two of our editors here, auditors here?
Okay.
Okay.
We're just getting them up and ready to go here.
Okay, good.
So to be clear,
Dale online. Dale, can you say hello? Or you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Just 1 second, please.
I have my presentation here and we'll share it. Is that how this works?
Yeah.
Okay, you are live.
Okay, I have to, can you see that on the screen?
Not yet.
Okay, hang on. We're going to share the screen. That one. Now you should see it.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. And for those of you who know me, I'm Dale Khalil. I love numbers. Carlisle, I see he's gone to get coffee. Thanks, Carlisle. He and I set to doing the financial audit and the financial report for you. I will be reasonably brief with this and just hit the highlights. Society has chosen to do review by members. You guys sent us all the documentation. I spent a bit of time doing a few things, but just cross-checking and telling things up to make sure that it was all by the book. Highlights of financial activities. We'll do the 2022 income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement, and I'll touch briefly on the notes arising from audit. The way I'm approaching this is that if you see something that you have a question about, just shut it out, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to go through fairly briefly. You should have copies of the financial statements that have the audit report there with you, and it will be on the website. So we started out with $159,000, and we closed with 43 in terms of a net unencumbered cash position for the year. Major activities on the AFIN side: membership, sponsorship, and conference, and not an awful lot of cash in new cash in on the farming website. Cash out on the AFIN side is basically operations per the above, and website development and admin ran us about 124,000 outflow. So net cash flow for the year for both AFIN and farming web tallied 116,000 in the whole, which is to be expected when you look at the projects that we had and us working on monies that we had previously. So basically the AFIN side of the business is just kind of percolating along. And 2022, there was a net income of about $7,000-8,000, and from 2014, we've been averaging about 2.3 thousand in net income, which is for a nonprofit pretty much nails it. Here's a good chart. This shows you net of the farming web activities, where AFIN kind of ambles. So averaging over that period of time, a little over 2,000 net income for the AFIN operations. And for those of you who really like numbers, here it is. You see here is that net income, but that includes a major outflow of cash for farming web, but then we got the money here. Okay. Income statement. Here you see the net income relative to this inflow and this outflow for AFIN, about 77.6K. Not much in on the farming website, but still developing things in the last year that bled out about 123K. So the net, when you add them all together, it's important to see these things so you understand the different activities that are going on in business. Anyhow, the net of those mathematically is a big negative red. And this is the balance sheet that I put together for us, showing us where we're at year end. Unencumbered cash position of about $42,000, with a GIC remaining of about 10. If there's any questions on the GICs, just ask. And we've got an outstanding balance to year end on a charge card of about $9,000. For those of you who don't know, we had an influx of project funding a couple of years ago that was parked in GICs. So it wasn't just going to sit and vibrate and earn nothing. It earned a little bit of money for us, but it's been drawn out to do the project work that it was intended for. This just basically shows that everything balances. And we had some fun with that. So notes arising from audit. AFIN has submitted a claim for a GST refund. And Amanda said that they're just waiting to see what's happening. AFIN, you've created an asset that has value. You may want to consider finding out what kind of value might be associated with that. A note on vision post farming web development, and this year our challenge was accounting for appropriately the use of the charge card, but I'm pretty sure I got it all done. There was a little bit of dancing that could be done or needed to be done to make sure that we accrued all the expenses, but it's all been looked after. Basically, what it boils down to, and you'll see in the detailed report, the comment that says we understated some of our 2021 expenses and just brought them over to 2022 so that they wouldn't be ignored. And this is what all good economists do. We just sit around and drink coffee and proselytize about how good we got it in retirement. So any questions coming out of the financial report?
I'm just waiting for a question. We do have a question here. Dale, Graham here.
Hey, Graham.
Your income statement and balance sheet is challenged by the accounting principles used by AFIN. The accounting principles are as received rather than the more appropriate accounting matching the revenue in the year that the expenses occurred. So your income statement may be overstated because you haven't carried forward the income as an accrued liability from the past years. And then you've got a challenge with your balance sheet in that you don't have the appropriate liability extending that grant forward in time from when you actually receive it. So did you make any comments to the board on changing that accounting principle from as received to matching revenues in the year that they were expended?
Actually, Graham, we chose to just explain it. You know, that it's cash based. This past year, we made adjustments, some accrual adjustments. I added another tile to the spreadsheet that Amanda was using that will allow us to follow the use of the charge card a little more effectively. But in terms of the use, well, we shifted everything to a double entry, Graham, in our spreadsheets, so nothing ever gets lost. Really haven't perceived. So coming in about the question on viewing the grant as a liability.
The accounting principle of matching the revenue to the year that the funds are expended means that in the year that you receive the grant, you only expend the grant that you spend it. And if you have a surplus, it goes over into the next year as accrued revenue and then it's spent again. So in the years like this year that you got a significant loss, it's understated because you don't have its matching revenue. You've recorded it several years prior. So you have a misstatement in how you've calculated your revenue.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it both ways, Graham, and the way you're talking about is the more appropriate way to do it. And no, we didn't do it that way because we chose to explain the change in our net cash position and explain the large net income versus small negative net income just by the use of those funds, the drawdown of those funds, if that makes sense. So over the period of time, if you average over the 3 years, which I've done separately, it makes sense. But yeah, I agree. The picture that it portrays year by year might be a bit is misleading, which is why we just choose to explain. And
I think
we are encumbered by the accounting procedures and practices that are put on us by the funders. This is kind of how we have to report it.
okay.
Okay.
In this audit.
He sure was. Well,
Okay, good. Thank you to both of you. And since Nora is not in the room, I would suggest somebody moves for acceptance of our audited report. Dwayne.
I am online, Sharia,
Say
so I
your
can
name,
make
please.
the motion.
John Reed seconds it. And anybody against it instead of asking in favor? Anybody against it? If not, the audited report is accepted as presented.
Thank you.
Okay, next item in the in the AGM is appointment of auditors. Can we appoint the same two auditors we have been using for last 4 years? Okay, John, thank you. Anybody else? Ed seconds it. Anybody else wants someone else to audit our books? So all in favor? Oh, overwhelming support. Okay, Dale, Carlisle, you are again appointed. I think our group likes the amount of money we pay you. So I think the overwhelming support for you to do it again next year.
I expect a doubling of my pay for this. You realize that?
Okay. Okay. No, thank you very much for doing this, Dale. You know our financial situation, and I think we very much appreciate
Both
what you two do for us.
Carlisle and I are just, we're huge supporters of AFIN. We were there from day one. And the little things that we can do to make things easier for you guys and to make things work, we're more than happy to step in and contribute.
Oh, thank you so very much. Your effort and your help is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Next item is the election of the directors, and I will turn it over to our vice chair for taking the lead on this. Ed Shaw.
Thank you. Well, welcome everybody. I was tasked with coming up with the names for our new upcoming board. We have had I guess I'll start at the very top here. Saria has kindly advised that he's willing to stay on for another term. He's got a lot of things with his strategic plan and this policy that I think is very important. Is anybody wanting to put their name forward as a chairman? Going once, going twice. Saria is nominated. Thank you.
That's why I thought somebody else would take over. And, but I thought we were only here to elect.
People online want to hear you.
Sorry. I thought our goal was to just elect the board of directors, and the board of directors choose in the first meeting who would lead them and things like that. But you were changing it on me, Ed.
You were right, sir, but nice try, yes.
Okay, I stand corrected. I'll try another way. So I guess I'll go down there and say that the following people have agreed to stay on. Myself as vice chair, Nora as treasurer, Grant as secretary, Chris Fulker as a director and also past chair, Kim Cornish, Amber Kenyon, Cole, Brent, John Bland, Doug Ray. We have some people from the industry here on here that is that's nominated there that come forward. So we got Mary Jane Block, Courtney O'Keefe, Dwayne Vandenberg has agreed to stay on, and Greg Earl has agreed to stay on one more year. Alex Robertson has asked to withdraw his name, but he suggested Tamara Gersten, who is very familiar with the industry, and I've got her a little bio on her that she's been very involved with the with the forage group down there, and she wants to become more active. And last year we had one of the people from the seed people drop off, but Performance Seed, Kane Turchin, who's the son of Vern, has put his name forward as that as well. So I guess we've got to, what we need to do here is to, the two people that will be going on would be Tamara and Tamara to replace Alex, and Kane Turchin to replace the seed person. So that's the list of nominations. Anybody else want to nominate anybody to the board? Anybody want to let their name stand? Sure got quiet. For a third time? Then I move nominations cease. And I would ask somebody to, I will move that the names that have been listed be approved. Chris has seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Congratulations. Thank you.
These are our advisors or representatives of different groups for whom we don't vote. They come from the groups. Like Alan Hall is Erica representative. We don't vote for him, but he is part of our board. So is Lori Keeney. She is ABP representative. And Darren Brazil is representing AAFC. We need one representative from Ducks. We don't have one, so we have to look for another representative from Ducks Unlimited. And also, we need a representative from provincial government. Carmen Andrew used to be our advisor from Government of Alberta. At present, we don't have any. So I have approached one or two people. I'm hoping that they would be part of our board. It's important sometimes to know what the government is thinking in these in the issues we sometimes have to address. And that is the reason why we have our advisors from the federal and provincial governments. Any other question about this? If not, our election is over. We have to work on the advisors. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn the this AGM. John is very good at adjourning the meetings. Okay, the meeting, our AGM for 2023 is adjourned. We have one, yeah, good, thank you. We have one other thing we had Paula Simmons, our senator, to come and bring greetings from the federal government to us in the morning. She could not do it, so now we have a video, recorded video from her.
Okay, just give us a second to get it up and going. Okay, let's cross our fingers everything works here, and go ahead.
Good morning, bonjour, and tanse. My name is Paula Simons. I'm an independent senator representing Alberta in the Senate of Canada. I am also the deputy chair of the Standing Senate Committee on Agriculture and Forestry. I wanted to let you know about a study that our committee has just begun. It is going to be a year-long study of soil health in Canada, an ambitious look at what we need to do not just to protect the health of our soil, but to help to fight climate change. And it's in that capacity that I'm very excited for this conference to be taking place. Because I will confess that up until recently, as a city girl myself, I had not understood the vital importance of the forage industry, not just to maintaining the health of our cattle herds, but to maintaining the health of our soil and in the fight against climate change because of the role of forage in sequestering carbon. I am delighted that you are gathered all here in the Edmonton Capital Region for this conference this week, and I am delighted to be making this appearance, even if only in disembodied form. Good luck with your work, and I hope that those of you who might be interested in testifying to our Senate committee will get in touch with my office, because we would love to hear from more witnesses who understand the vital interconnectedness of the forage industry and the health of our planet and the health of our soil. Thank you. Merci. Hi, hi.
You. Okay, I think